This week on Two Noobs, a new candidate for CEO douche comes from Australia and promptly sticks his foot in his mouth. Crikey! Then, public feedback is solicited related to the Mutter Museum's collection in Philadelphia. Will the change-minded people in charge actually listen to the public? Fat chance. Next, Tesla has been lying about the mileage rates on its EVs. Who's shocked? And we conclude with a tournament of sports video games. Who will reign supreme? Start the music! Dun, 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 dun. Woo! Well, I don't know about you, but I'm going to bed. You know, we talked, about making sure the third world, the third world, South America. I mean, the Texas. Yeah, had access to change, and we look. It wasn't confrontational.
Okay,
at all.
Biden.
I mean,
Biden.
I have human rights. I mean,
Okay, Biden.
Excuse me, sorry.
What's going on over there?
Welcome to Two Noobs, episode 156. Thank you, Matt, for giving me the hook there.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what the heck's
I think
going on?
Steve painted his basement right before he did that.
Jeez. The fumes are getting to me. Oh, let's get on with the nonsense. Over here we've got, that's Jabberwocky John Tracy.
There you go.
And over here I've got Mad Hatter Matt Craig. And lest you think it's all Alice in Wonderland, I in the middle am Steve Murray. I'm merely a figment of your imagination. Yes, that's right.
You are the Mad Hatter, after all.
No, you are, because your name starts with an M. Mad Hatter.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the Sad Hatter. Maybe I'll leave it at
Sad.
that.
Fair enough. Mr. John, how are things in Texas while we get battered with Ophelia? Well, I say battered, in the sense of a Weather Channel itching to get some viewership.
Yes.
Yeah, but Ophelia,
Yes,
Ophelia is ruining our weekend with rain. Let's just put it that way.
I heard you
horrible.
guys were in the depths of hell of rain for like 11 minutes.
Yeah. It's awful.
It is still hot in Texas, so we won't even go there. Still, like, it's ridiculous. But I do have to give a shout out to Vince McMahon and the company for the beautiful faux pas on Twitter where you tell your Australian wrestler to tweet out something about wrestling in Australia next year, and then 30 minutes later you cut her, so she has to go back on Twitter and go, "Oops, I got cut." Can people who run that company just be able to read the room from one side to the other? It's just for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Something tells me we've got a story about a CEO who does exactly not that coming up. However, before we get to that, Matt, I read a story this morning that may interest you because I know you've taken issue with Neil deGrasse Tyson previously for his opinion that Armageddon is the film that violates the most laws of physics.
Yes.
And I know that upsets you. Well, he has now renounced that and said there is a new film that takes that throne.
Oh.
Which is last year's Moonfall starring Halle Berry. I'm not familiar with that film, but
is that the one where the moon is actually crashing into the earth and Halle Berry has to stop it from happening or something like that?
Based on the title Moonfall, that sounds about right.
Did she catch it? That's what I want to know. Did she catch it and throw it away or something?
Yeah, who knows?
A big Green Lantern mitt. No Oh, Matt,
how boys, I got it.
But in other news, how are you doing today, sir?
Oh, I'm doing great. Phillies are magic number 2, obviously, by the time we're recording, but who knows by the time this episode comes out, they may have already clinched a playoff spot.
If they're
love beating the Mets. That's the best part about all of this. Like we're crushing them. Every time they get up to a lead, we tie and then we take the lead. It's terrific. I love it.
It's absolutely
it's great to see. Yeah.
Well, weren't the Mets the ones who gave us a walk-off win by hitting 2 of our batters
Yes.
Mhm.
in the
Yes,
bottom
yes.
of the ninth? I mean,
Yep.
that's the way to
Brilliant.
Met.
Yeah.
That's the way to Met right there.
Mets going to Met all the time, man. I love
Mets
it.
gonna
Yeah.
Met. Mets gonna.
And when
Well, I
you
hope
have
they
a-
play today because the rain is here.
And I think it's supposed to like clear out of here. I think the game on later today, Sunday, is at I think 6:40. So I think
Yeah.
Oh,
they're
really?
pushing
Oh.
it until
They bumped. Yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
bumped it. It
later
was supposed to
tonight.
be an afternoon game. They bumped it all the way to a night game so they could
Yeah.
get it in because
Get it in.
we don't got much
Mhm.
time, so we gotta get these games
No,
in.
we really don't.
Right.
Yeah. So
All right, we'll see. Okay, well, we're going to move then to our fun fact and over 40 rant brought to you by W Energy Drinks. Visit w.gg, dubby.gg. Enter the promo code 2 Noobs Talking. It's TOO, Noobs, NOO, BS. We don't give you that, but anyway, put in that promo code, you get 10% off your order. John, you've got our fun fact for the week before Matt goes off, so
Oh
let's
shit!
bring it up
Oh.
before we bring it down.
Oh no! Okay, I got it. Okay. I got a little
Way to
confused.
project an air of readiness
Yes.
on this program.
So you guys are both, as I am, huge fans of Back to the Future. So I got this one just for you guys. Turns out in early drafts, 2 or 3 of the early drafts of the movie before it got even close to real production, the time machine which they traveled in was supposed to be an old refrigerator.
Huh. Interesting.
Totally makes the movie now so much cooler knowing what they could have went with.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't even know how you do that. You have to get up to 88 miles an hour. Like, what do? You like shove the.
Obviously, the time travel requirements would have differed.
Yes, maybe it was 88 degrees, like below 0, or like negative 88, and then you jump in the refrigerator and then you go. I don't, and it just.
Oh, who knows?
But could you
God.
imagine that
Oh.
summertime blockbuster? That would have been awesome.
Quick, Marty, get in the refrigerator.
Can you imagine? And I mean, this is what we have. This, thank God, is what we have.
That does not
As
look like a
opposed-
refrigerator.
No, it most certainly does not.
So did they keep this idea in the vault and then bring it out again for Indiana Jones?
The
and
Dial
Kingdom
Destiny?
of the Crystal. No, the Kingdom of the
Probably.
Crystal
If
Skull.
Skull?
You know how
Where he
Hollywood
survives a
is.
nuclear blast in a refrigerator, a lead-lined refrigerator.
Oh God.
Well, you know Hollywood. They just kick bad ideas around until it fits to a
Oh,
movie. Nice job, Michael Bay.
Transformers. Thank you very much for ruining my life.
The
Anyway.
best thing I've ever seen with him was in a South Park when their imagination has been taken over by terrorists, and they bring in various movie directors because they have good ideas to, so they bring in Michael Bay, and he's just talking about explosions the whole time.
Yes.
Like, no, that's just special effects. We need a plot. He's like, what's the difference?
Exactly.
Oh no.
The only
All right, well now
the only
go
cool
ahead.
thing he ever did is when he was the CG guy that got plicked by the one. He said in the after that he put himself in because he knew it would make people happy to know that he was the one that got flicked. So he
Flicked
understands.
on what?
One of the Transformers flicks a human away, and it's,
Oh,
Yeah, it's Megatron.
yeah,
him.
it's kayfabe. It's Michael Bay because he knew it would make people happy.
That's awesome.
that was one of my favorite parts of the whole movie.
Exactly.
Is it disgusting? Well, look, he's got to get credit for The Rock. Though.
Yes.
That-
Oh,
and
yeah,
I mean the
absolutely.
movie. That was a good movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
that
That
was
was a really good movie.
Not the idiot wrestler.
Who came back to SmackDown last week?
Oh, shocking.
Wasn't he? Yeah.
All right, well, now I'm going to turn it over to Matt, who has what I think is the most organized over 40 rant ever. And so I don't think it qualifies as a rant so much as a manifesto. So this is the over 40 manifesto from one Mad Matt. All right, go ahead, sir.
Johnny is about ready to take notes. So let's just set the table, gentlemen. Senator John Fetterman, of course, of Pennsylvania, famous now for wearing hoodies and shorts in the Senate floor because He had a stroke, and I don't know why they're giving him special treatment. But anyway, as you guys know, there's a government shutdown planned. Can't wait. Love it. They're already $33 trillion in debt. I think we can afford a shutdown. Them not working is perfectly fine by me. He had a great tweet, guys, on September 20th. He said, if those jagoffs in the House stop trying to shut our government down and fully support Ukraine, then I will save democracy by wearing a suit on the Senate floor next week. One, great wizard of smart. Love it. You're supposed to wear a stupid suit all the time, jackass. That's number one. But then I had to take a step back, John. I had to
breathe
breathe a little bit. And I kept thinking to myself, here's a guy that really should not be in the U.S. Senate. All likelihood. I mean,
I didn't vote for him.
I didn't vote for him.
Yeah, he's had a stroke. That is a very serious thing. That affects your mental capacity, can affect your physical capacities, all kinds of things. It happened to my grandfather when I was a high schooler. He suffered through strokes, and it was incredibly difficult for him to pick up a pen and write. He had to write left-handed. He was a dominant right-handed guy. He had to learn how to write left-handed. So it's not something that you could just walk right out of a stroke and everything's
Shake it
okay.
off.
Yeah, you can just shake it off, put some dirt on it, and go on.
Yeah. Gatorade, ibuprofen.
Yeah. So I just thought of, like, with all the nonsense that we're going on with Fetterman, with AOC, with Lauren Boebert, and with Adam Gates, right?
Stop
all these
touching
lunatics.
Me. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
With all these lunatics that are running the government, unfortunately, I think we need to set some ground rules here. And I propose 3 basic ground rules for everyone to follow if you want to, serve in Congress. Number 1, you have to be able to be physically fit. And meaning that you have to project confidence. And stand up straight. You got your good broad shoulders. You're projecting confidence to the American people. I think that's probably more important than anything else. That you're under control. That no slouching, no oh my god, none of that stuff. You just want to be able to project confidence. That's my first thought. My second thought is, well, you got to be mentally capacity. Have good mental capacity. You got to be able to put a sentence together. Unlike Fetterman, who really barely typed a sentence together to begin with, unlike our president, unlike Lauren Boebert, unlike others. So you have to have some sort of mental capacity. And then third, you have to be able to treat your political opponents with dignity and class and respect. So you don't necessarily agree with them all the time, obviously, but you give them benefit of the doubt. You give them class and respect and all that kind of stuff. And my thought process is, if you have one of those, if you fail in either one of these 3 things or on all 3, you're automatically disqualified. I don't care who you are.
So this means we're booting the entire administration. We are vacating 100 Senate seats and probably 432 U.S. representative seats in Congress. Okay.
Very much.
And I think we could find, here's the thing. I think we could find 1,000 people in 330 million people that fit either all of those criteria or one of the 3 criteria. That's my whole thought, my whole thought process. Yeah. I think you could easily just replace them all, to be perfectly honest.
I'd love to.
They are extremely replaceable.
Yeah. No. So, I mean, I don't want to go on a diatribe, and I just had to relax and just, Okay. That's because you needle me, Johnny. That's what you do. You needle me. Needle me over there.
John's been known in hockey to go into a corner, and next thing you know, the guy's swinging fists at him.
And I wonder, like, what the heck did John do? And all of a sudden, we're on the power play. And I'm like, oh, that's what John did. Oh, got it. Okay.
We know firsthand about John's ability to get people riled up, and so I'm here to calm you back down, Matt.
Thank you.
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now let's get fired up again for topic 1. Here we go. All right,
let's go knock this dude out.
All right, we do not have an article for this. But we're going to go through a quote that this gentleman gave at some conference. I don't know. We're going to go sentence by sentence. This is from Australian billionaire property developer Tim Gurner. founder and CEO of Gurner Group,
Mm.
who has promptly
really good at
stuck
naming
foot
shit.
in mouth. Yeah, right. Real creative there, pal.
Well, needs a marketing campaign. Anyway.
All right. So he is in currently hot water for, once again, sticking his foot in mouth, from which you can get a disease, as I understand it. So we're going to walk through the quote that's got him in such hot water with people. And I would venture to say he is likely out of touch with the common man.
You don't say.
Slightly.
Slightly. All right, here we go. So we're going to, first sentence here. I think the problem that we've had is that people decided they didn't really want to work so much anymore through COVID. And that has had a massive impact on productivity.
I'll stop you right there. I thought COVID was the reason why people were losing their jobs, not the other way around. Am I wrong on that, or am I?
I think COVID initially caused people to lose jobs because they were like, well, you can't come into work. But at the same time, I think people realized I don't need my work to define me.
Yes.
There are more important things in life that I should pay attention to.
Yeah.
And so I think for a lot of people, who may have been workaholics previously, they're like, well, what the hell am I doing?
No one here. Yeah. Okay.
But go ahead, John, you have your hand raised.
Well, I'm one of those people that before COVID, I prioritized work over a lot of things. And when we had to slow down and we weren't sure we were going to work, and of course I was lucky enough to work through it. It was just a different way. I learned a different way to work. I understood, like, I'll leave at a certain time, but I want to be home by a certain time. I'm not going to put endless hours into something because I have other things in my life that I would rather promote than just work. Not saying that I don't want to work. I want to do everything, and I want to do everything with good priority. So that was a good lesson learned. So
absolutely.
I think he's blaming people like me because we're not super prioritizing work over everything else.
Steve?
All right. Next sentence. Tradies have definitely pulled back on productivity.
That would be me.
There you go.
I've never heard the word tradies before.
It's not a real word, but he's talking about tradesmen, but
gotcha. Okay.
Is this just
Foster's,
the fact
Australian
that he's
for beer,
tradies,
Australian for people that work.
It's just Australian because they make up words all the time. Go the Jumblies. Just making stuff up. Now this is coming from Philadelphians, and we're gonna shit on ourselves later.
Yeah, of course.
Pronunciations of things, but I don't. So tradies have definitely pulled back on productivity. I don't think that's true statement. I guess.
I don't think so.
Oh, there you go.
You don't think it's true?
No, I don't think. He's talking about construction workers. He's talking about tradesmen. They were, by the federal government, they were given the go to work through the pandemic. None of the major trades that keep the truck drivers, all that. Nobody was told to. Office workers were told to stay home. It wasn't the tradesmen, and that's who he's talking about. He's literally the plumbers and the electricians and the contractors. They're not doing as much work. They also don't have the materials because of the idiot in office still has boats in the fucking sea that haven't delivered shit since 2021. So,
yeah,
I mean,
with you, Johnny.
Blaming trade people is dumb because they're the ones doing the work. Like,
yeah,
idiot.
But it continues though. Go on, Steve.
All right, they have been paid a lot to do not too much in the last few years, and we need to see that change.
Huh. Interesting. Continue.
I'm waiting for Mr. John to.
No, I'll let that go. I'll just let that marinate for the people who work in trades.
Yeah.
Well, understand my fury there because.
I would agree to the extent that government handouts have continued that probably
Yeah.
shouldn't, that are encouraging people
Absolutely.
not to return to work. I mean, I think
Right.
that is an issue,
Mhm.
and that may be what he's referring to. But I think his solution is, which is the next paragraph here, which is really where he gets into the trouble.
Oh boy.
And I'll read this in Matt's annoying voice.
Nice.
We need to see unemployment rise. Unemployment has to jump 40-50% in my view. WTF, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, America's halfway there, so I mean,
Well, that's kind of saying, well, we're behind the times in our layoffs. That's about as stupid as that sounds. Yeah,
Yeah.
that really. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't say that when you're in CEO. You don't say that as a leader of a company. You don't utter that phrase. Period.
Yeah, I mean, it's great for a CEO who probably doesn't have to worry about being unemployed to say unemployment needs to jump 40 to 50%.
And has all kinds of benefits.
Easy to say when you're not the one going to be affected by it, pal.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
You know, I've got my $1 billion to fall back on. Even if he does see unemployment, we need to see pain in the economy.
Well, I mean,
it's already happening.
We continue
that's
to
already
dig
happening.
down. Yeah.
Once again, coming from a guy who, if the economy sees pain, he's not gonna, lose his caviar.
Actually, what he's doing is digging up. That's what he's doing. He's trying to dig up from the hole that he's in. Go on.
I'm stupid.
But he literally is already paying high prices for food because he shops at places like Fresh Market and those other places where fucking butter is $11.50. Like,
it's the gourmet butter.
John has a bone to pick with you Mayo people. For once.
I do.
We need to remind people that they work for the employer, not the other way around.
Well,
okay.
I am so thankful I work for a company that the CEO down would laugh at that comment and say loudly, this guy is completely out of touch.
Well, if you think that sentence was bad, the following one reinforces how stupid this guy is.
Here we go.
There's been a systematic change where employees feel the employer is extremely lucky to have them, as opposed to the other way around. Oh, so the employees are supposed to feel extremely lucky that you, the billionaire, who's generated billions off the backs of people working for you, should feel extremely grateful that you know what this sounds like? This sounds like slavery. I don't know.
A little bit. I mean, not like Tom Cruise Scientology slavery, but like slavery nonetheless.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah.
Well, again, he's digging up.
He's
Steve.
digging
He
up.
is digging up. Stupid. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a dynamic that needs to change. We've got to kill that attitude.
Good
And that has to come
words.
through yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that has to come through hurting the economy.
Ugh.
Oh boy. All right, Matt, I'll give you the floor first. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I don't know if that's the last thing we need, and I think it is. The last thing we need is to basically intentionally hurt the economy with the interest rates at 7% mortgage, for example. That sounds like a great idea. Classic example, not reading the room. Classic example of putting foot in mouth. Classic example of just being an idiot and thinking that you have a good idea in your head, but when you speak it, it's kind of like Vince Russo's booking. When you put it on paper and it actually comes out, it's trash. It's garbage. There's nothing there. And, this drives me crazy. And I think it's a broad problem with a lot of these CEOs and leadership. Obviously, this didn't pass through the AI bots, but in regards to that, gentlemen, this is not good. This is not good for leadership.
Nope.
In particular, of any kind, if any CEO is trying to think this, get out of that company. I'm dead serious about it. Like, start looking elsewhere. Start looking elsewhere, Johnny. I love what you just mentioned about your CEO laughing at something like this. That's the attitude we need to have.
Yeah.
Really, if you're in leadership in that regard.
You want people looking to want to pay their employees more, looking for more jobs for their employees, spreading the business, growing the business, and saying things in emails like, hey, guys, we're working really hard on the sales and because we want to get you guys more work. We want to get more people trained. We want to get more, just in my aspect, we want to get more trucks out there. That's a beautiful sound to someone like me, but great, that's opportunity all over the place. I would walk out immediately if someone said, well, we need to downsize. Like, there are people, like, let's not be unrealistic. There are people in a company you can fire when something goes wrong. I'm sure we all can just go, yeah, but those 30 people probably deserved it. You know what I mean? Like, because there is that.
Here's the thing, though, Johnny. If you have bad news to deliver to your people, you can say bad news to your people. The problem that we run into is that when you mask behind it or you don't share what is actually going on, we may have to do layoffs in the next 6 to 8 months. Get your resume ready. No one wants to say those types of things. They'd rather just say, well, we're behind the times in, laying off people here at this organization. What?
Yeah,
what are you talking
you're absolutely
about?
right. And that's the sneaky way to do it. That's the non-good leadership way to do it.
It's okay to tell the truth. Steve, what do you think? I know.
I would never work for a jackass like. Look, are there lazy leeches on society out there right now? Absolutely, there are.
Absolutely.
And the COVID exacerbated that for sure. I don't think the problem is as widespread as CEOs would lead you to believe.
Yes.
And CEOs are the ones complaining about it because their $1 billion pay cuts are, whatever.
Yeah.
I think what they need to realize is that the respect and the feelings of gratitude need to flow both ways.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, this guy is basically saying, well, all my employees need to stand in a line and kiss the ring on my finger while I sit on a throne because I was kind enough and benevolent enough to give them a job.
Yeah.
Dude, you earned your fucking billions because you were employing people and people were working for you. You have to be just as grateful, if not more grateful for them than they should be for you having a job.
Absolutely.
That's what pisses me off is this guy. And it's people like him. Matt's exactly right. It's a leadership problem.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The humility is missing. The humility is gone.
When you have $1 billion, what's there to be humility?
Humble.
It's humble. Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
The worst part about what he's saying is he's not talking about the 2% at the bottom that everybody knows and you could easily chop off and it saves you a little bit of money. Who he's offending is the guy and the girl that show up religiously and don't
every
fuss and don't. That's the backbone of how you build.
Yeah.
A company is through those people that they give you only criticism that helps you, and they don't ever divert from what they're trying to do because they want to move up. They're pushing. That's a slap in the face to those people that are dedicated to his vision, and he's just shitting all over them, and that's terrible.
Yeah,
it's a forgotten. It's the middle class. It's the forgotten class.
Yeah,
absolutely. This guy needs. I would say his HR department needs to give him some sensitivity training, but
maybe leadership training too.
Leadership training. He should.
His HR department probably sucks too.
Yeah, I would think. Well, that's what I was going to say. As the CEO, he has control over that.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and
he fired them all.
I guess before we leave this, we should say that he has apologized, gentlemen. He has basically said that my comments were deeply insensitive to employees, tradies, and families across Australia who were affected by these cost of living pressures and job losses. Well,
can't read the room. There you go.
That's the thing that bothers me is his solution is something that would not impact him in the least.
Yeah.
When you've got $1 billion in your assets, we'll have a downturn in the economy. That's fine because I can just sit here and ride it out on my billions of dollars. But the people whose thought processes is what you're trying to change are the ones who are actually going to suffer because of that.
Yeah, you're not going to get you're not going to get your annual raise. You're not going to get cost of living. You're not going to be able to afford groceries. Well, he's just living on what he's earned through people.
And the thing that bothers me the most about this is I worry about him and a coalition of fellow billionaire CEOs like him monopolizing together and influencing a government to say, hey, we need to, screw the people over so we can force them into the mindset that they got to slave ass back to work. You know what I mean? Like, that's a realistic concern, I think, here.
Yeah.
Especially
too much power. Too much power.
Especially in Australia. We saw how COVID was handled there.
Oh,
a bunch of nut jobs. So yeah, it is a smoking gun with that guy coming out and saying that is extremely scary.
Yeah, it's guys like him who make me want to go to the shops. You see, the thing about CEOs is a jackrabbit can run so fast that the thing was over there, and I got ice.
Yep.
And it's good.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate you. Oh, Steve, you're back.
Hey, what's up?
That paint is not drying fast enough.
No, it's not.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, topic 2.
This isn't one for the weird file?
It's the museum itself is probably one for the weird file, but
okay.
The topic itself here is
definitely not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to clear this out right in the front. This is a Philly Voice article. The word has an umlaut over the U, which means I believe the term is supposed to be pronounced mutter or muter, something to that effect. However, we are from Philadelphia and we say things the way we want, so it's mutter.
Yeah, because we don't give a shit about your fancy little letter things above your thing. And yeah,
we don't care about the dots over the U. What are you talking about over here?
Us three do. Right. We are hockey fans, so we absolutely do.
Yes,
we respect that. I'm just saying that. But as Philadelphians, we understand that the vast majority of Philadelphians, they don't even know what that means. So.
And it's much more fun to say Mutter Museum anyway.
Of course.
So the Mutter Museum asks the public to weigh in on ethical battle over displaying human remains. A reckoning over the future of the Mutter Museum has put Philadelphia's unique showcase of medical oddities at a crossroads and in a fierce battle over the ethics of displaying human remains. The museum's leaders are now enlisting the public to help decide the path forward. The museum announced it will begin a 2-year public engagement project dubbed Postmortem Mutter Museum. All right, annoying voice. It's important, now more than ever, that the Mutter Museum reckon with historically problematic collecting practices, specifically regarding the human remains in our care, and make changes focused on dignity and respect for the living and the dead, said Mutter Executive Director Kate Quinn. The museum, owned and operated by the College of Physicians of Philadelphia, possesses about 6,500 biological specimens obtained during the course of the Mutter's 160-year history. What to do with these remains has become the focus of a widening rift between the Mutter's leaders and those who seek to protect the museum's legacy. Traditionalists view the Mutter's collection of human remains as a moving tribute to the anomalies of medical science. They believe these remains tell the story of modern medicine's inquiry into the extremes of human pathology, a fundamental part of life and death. Quinn took over last year when she was hired by CPP president and CEO Mira Irons, who took the helm at the medical college the year prior. They each share qualms about how the museum's remains were obtained. Many items entered the Mutter's collection before people could legally consent to donating their bodies to science, a choice that only gained legal clarity in the late 1960s.
Wow. Okay.
John, how are you reading CEO? What's her name? CEO or?
Yeah, CEO.
Executive Director Kate Quinn. How are you reading what she's doing here?
Good question. I'm definitely falling in the traditionalist. completely. Like I don't care how you obtain them before, blah blah blah, whatever. I feel it needs to stay as what it has been throughout my entire life. It's a staple for the medical community, and if you want to see weird stuff, go there. It's it's something that should be protected traditionally, as this is what it is. Leave your woke BS out of it. And that's what I feel that the CEO has put more wokeness to it. Now we're going to worry about, like, how many people knew that legal clarity of consent for scientific bodies was in 1960? Like, everybody raise your hand. Who's listening? Everybody. Did you know that that's when that happened? That is what
I personally had no idea, Johnny. Yeah.
that is what the woke culture does. They take a fact and then they beat it to death, and that's what I think they're doing. Oh, well, you can't do it because they didn't get consent, and most of these things are prior to 1960. And then everybody goes, "Oh yeah, well that's dumb. We can't have that because they didn't consent to it." But they didn't have a law, so
applying today's rules to
yesteryear.
Then, right?
Yeah, it makes no sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I wonder if we have to give back the dinosaur bones and the
the T-Rex has got to go. I mean, he did not consent. Knock him down.
He didn't consent.
Knock him down.
Absolutely.
Throw him back in the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
The opposition, I would call it here, is the Protect the Mutter. One organizer for that group called the museum's new initiative tone deaf and upsetting for using a name that makes it sound as if the Mutter is dead post-mortem. The organizer described the project as a farce meant to override the voices of more than 34,000 people who signed the group's online petition in May to have Quinn and Irons removed from their posts.
Wow.
They could have just read the thousands of comments, emails, and messages from the public for free, said the organizer, who asked to remain anonymous. All of this speaks to a dangerously out-of-touch leadership that continues to ignore members, the public, and reality as they embark on their disastrous plans for this historic and beloved institution. Exhibits around the world increasingly have been presented with the dilemma of weighing the educational value of human remains against the wish to rectify past injustices and foster welcoming environments. Quinn and Irons believe the museum needs to pivot from its macabre reputation. Quinn's detractors see the initiative, the overhaul of the Mutter's online presence, and the ending of popular programs such as the Dracula-themed events run in partnership with the Rosenbach Museum and Library, as diluting the museum's character. Protect the Mutter's petition describes the new direction as reactive and fear-based, one that will put the museum's reputation and financial security at risk. Matt, sounds like these people aren't going to listen to the comments they get in this initiative post-mortem, are they?
Well,
They're just going to do what they see fit.
What do you mean? What do you mean, Steve? I mean, with the CEO, I mean, we got another problem with leadership again? Ooh, wow.
Common theme. Ho, 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 ho.
Ho, ho, ho. I have to admit, guys, when we were talking about this in pre-production, I had no idea the Mutter Museum was even in Philadelphia.
There you go.
Of which I was then scolded by Mr. Steve Murray, who said, "You're not a true Philadelphian." And I was sitting there kind of going like, I've never visited this museum. Where the hell is it?
I don't know if that's the baseline for being a Philadelphian.
Sure is.
I would have thought Independence Hall, the Liberty Bell, the cradle of democracy, and the whole bit, the whole 9 yards. This one's weird for me, gentlemen. I have to be honest with you. Weird in the fact that I've never been there. I have no desire to go there either. It seems like it would be a very creepy experience to see all of these different medical anomalies floating around over there. Some of the size, what was it, like an 8-foot long colon? I mean, I'm not so sure I really would want to really see that.
Understood.
It's not for everybody.
It is not for everybody. No. I have a good question for you, Matt. Just the words that Steve read before. What do you think of the wish to rectify past injustices actually means pertaining to this?
Yeah.
That's my question to you. Yeah.
A waste of time, a waste of everybody's time, Johnny. I think your point on wokeness is exactly right. It's an attempt to go back in time, knowing what we know now, hopping into the DeLorean, traveling all the way back, maybe even to a refrigerator.
Or the refrigerator,
yeah. Travel back in time. Hey, look at all these injustices. If you change them now, we'll be fine going back to the future. And not really realizing that we haven't even invented time travel yet, and nor is that ever going to be a concept, because time will always travel linearly. I mean, it's just a gigantic waste of time in that regard. So I completely agree with you in regards to this. I think it's sad that people have to always look at this knowing that they think that they are looking back on it with perfect 2020 vision. It's just rose-colored glasses, really, at that point, honestly, if I'm being sincere.
If you're going to say we're rectifying past injustices, they're making it sound like they held this guy down and cut out his 8-foot colon.
Yeah.
This belongs to us now.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, no. So the Protect the Mutter organizers do have some interesting stories to tell here. Mm-hmm. They feel Quinn and Irons are misinterpreting what makes the museum special in the eyes of longtime supporters. Although the oddities at the Mutter carry a certain shock value for some visitors, others identify and empathize with the people whose remains are preserved there. The organizer said she still regularly gives personal tours and encounters touching stories about visitors' interests. One woman born with spina bifida, I think a spine deformity,
Yes.
went to the museum recently and compared seeing a skeleton like hers to looking at a family album. Over the summer, a 5th grader whose grandmother had recently died of lung cancer wanted to see the preserved lungs of people who were lifetime smokers. He asked his parents to go to the museum and after his grandmother died, because that would make him feel better, and it did. Now, Protect the Mutter organizers say they're not against the idea of evaluating ethical issues about particular specimens. They welcome making sensible changes at the museum. What they don't condone is broad ethical revisionism that could lead to a watered-down collection and museum that avoids presenting medical history in a truthful light. So we're changing the past, are we?
Well,
if we don't know,
he's using an ism word. An ism word.
Yeah.
And there's a billion of them.
Right. If we don't know where something came from and we don't have somebody saying, this is from my person, I want it back, then what are we supposed to do with the remains, the organizer said. The solution shouldn't be we either hide them or bury them. If these remains have the opportunity to live this second life of education, isn't that better? And yes, it should be respectful. The organizers contend that protecting the Mutter means ensuring it survives as an uncensored learning environment and a place that powerfully and proudly greets people with their own mortality. That sounds right to me. If you have a particular complaint about a particular specimen, take it up with Consumer Affairs and we will remove it. If you can prove it was your grandfather's colon and you have an objection to us displaying it, fine, we'll take up that grievance. But
Absolutely.
we're not gonna blanket take everything down.
No.
Just because somebody somewhere got butthurt.
The problem with what he's saying is actually perfect, but the problem that the other side will go to, even if you hide it and bury it because you didn't have consent to have it, then you'd be in trouble for hiding and burying it because you didn't follow some other rule that they just made up after they got you to remove it and hide it. That's a part of wokeism that people aren't grasping. Like they're not stopping. Like it's not going to be just, oh, well, hide it and bury it because you didn't have consent to display it. Well, why did you hide and bury it? Because it was someone of blah, 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 and they'll just make something else up. The other organization will just come by and try to change the past again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another example of people getting offended on behalf of somebody else who
probably wasn't offended to begin with.
I know the legal requirement for medical consent or whatever it was came about in the 1960s, but if somebody was like, hey, we'd like to take your spine and display it at the museum for medical history education, and somebody's like, fine, does it really matter that legal consent for medical things wasn't particularly established. It was their agreement to have their spine displayed. Why should we double second guess that just because the law is different? I was at the Mutter Museum once. That sandwiches were good. Very, very tasty sandwiches the Wawa makes.
Steve, are you back?
Oh, yeah.
And he was back there in 1985 when it first opened.
He was only 152 then.
Well, yeah.
Topic 3.
He has said worse. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Topic 3, and yet another bad CEO.
I guess we ought to get all of these people out now so that we could step in with good leadership, right? I think that maybe that's the overarching theme of all of
but
this.
I don't want to.
I volunteer to take over the Mutter.
Okay.
Steve will take over the Mutter.
I've got Twitter, and I'm going to put it all in a jump drive and throw it in the river. That's exactly.
Oh, there you go. And then
It could be a very big jump drive, but.
Oh yeah, what I'll do is I'll lean 6 all of the CEOs on leadership, and this is how you're supposed to say direct things directly and not be an idiot when they actually speak it. So it's more of a coaching / talking seminar. I guess I'll do it that way.
Nice.
Sounds like a plan.
Why not?
I like
there you go. Okay.
All right. Well, this is The Cool Down article. Tesla lands in hot water after new report alleges the company told a huge long-term lie about its vehicles. All right, raise your hand if you're surprised.
Okay.
I was gonna reach through and throttle you. That's the power of the force right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, exactly.
Tesla has been accused of several unethical business practices over the years. The latest, according to a new, extensively reported piece from Reuters, which I encourage every one of our listeners and viewers to read if they get the chance, because it's quite eye-opening. This article really just kind of summarizes the findings. The Reuters piece goes into great detail, more than I was willing to do here for you people. So, according to the report, the electric vehicle company misled consumers about the battery range of its cars. You know, kind of one of the important things that you need to know about an electric vehicle. Not only that, but according to the report, Tesla also created an entire secret diversion team to thwart customers who complained about the issue. Per Reuters, a person familiar with an early design of the software for its in-dash readouts said that Tesla's range meter would show rosy projections, quote, rosy projections, for how far a car could travel on a full battery. Then, once the battery fell to under 50% charge, the projection would switch to a realistic number so as to avoid actually leaving drivers stranded with an empty battery. However, drivers who noticed the abrupt switch thought something was wrong with their cars and scheduled service appointments. That's where the diversion team comes in. The team was reportedly tasked with identifying customers who had scheduled appointments based on the misleading range estimates. From there, they were meant to tell those customers there was nothing wrong with their cars and that they should cancel their appointments without ever telling them what the actual issue had been. Earlier this year, the South Korean government fined the EV maker $2.2 million for failing to tell customers about the shorter driving range of its cars in low temperatures, readers reported. However, the extent of how intentionally Tesla misled its customers and then attempted to cover it up has not been previously known. John, you're an Elon lover. What the hell?
Yeah. I love that guy so much.
I love him.
No,
He's so wonderful.
That sounds like an Elon thing to do, too. That totally sounds like, okay, so instead of fixing the problem, I mean, how many...
developing a battery that lasts longer.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta hire more kids in China. And maybe he doesn't, maybe 5 cents a kid doesn't hit his budget the same way as putting together a bunch of people making $50,000
Johnny,
a diversionary team. I don't know.
Johnny, that's a low blow, and you should apologize right now. No, I'm kidding.
I will never apologize for their shitty business practices. No, I'm not apologizing.
That a boy. That a boy. That's what I want to hear. That a boy.
Jeez.
Love it. Yeah.
Never holding me down.
Not
happening.
Matt's got the right end of the stick there for who's got to apologize. That's
yeah. Gents, you don't, as a Lean Six Sigma black belt certificate.
Oh, here he goes, whipping out the certification.
Yeah, whipping out the certification.
Let's whip it out here. You do not create a diversion team to solve your problem. You address the situation.
But that's a problem. You have a liberal arts degree. That's exactly what you do. You're not understanding. That's exactly what you do.
No, damn it. No.
Well, Matt, we have to cover up the lies with more lies. Don't you see?
Yeah,
that's how this works.
That's how this works.
And, to be perfectly honest, I appreciate South Korea finding them $2.2 million. It really should have been $2.2 billion to really send Elon Musk a message. $2.2 million to him is nothing. It's like $20. You have to hit them hard.
In all the governments, though, I don't feel South Korean government is very, they don't need his money. They would rather live their lives and just fine as, standard practice of you lied, you get this fine. They're not like the
Johnny,
other.
I don't think this is meant to be punitive. Yeah.
Right. I want it to be punitive. I want there to be punishments. Damn it. Especially with these stupid vehicles that are taking.
Oh, I agree with you.
Ukraine would have fined him $6 trillion and then did stuff with it. Just saying.
Yeah, well.
What pisses me off is you have what's one of the biggest issues about transitioning to electric vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
It's how far you can get on a charge. Okay, because we don't have nearly enough charging stations as would be necessary to convert everyone's car.
And diesel's too expensive to keep them running. So you can't have all of them running because they're all running on diesel generators. So
you are solving the problem of people not buying because they don't like the ranges by lying about your range.
Yeah.
And then when they catch you, I mean, this reminded me back in the day, John, you might remember when we would have the adult league reffing responsibilities
yes.
at the local YMCA. And if a game was getting particularly out of hand because of a defect in the scoreboard, once we got to like 9 minutes left, you could hit the thing and knock it down a minute.
You can run it down a little bit. Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's not user error, is it? That's not user error.
No, that's trying to prevent grown people from beating each other up, trying to get us out of there quick.
Yes, and the real sad part was it was a bunch of non-legal adults acting like the adults, while the adults were acting like children.
Isn't that amazing?
And that's why you could do things like that, because...
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's what this reminded me of. You're telling people, oh, you can get 300 miles on a charge when it's more like actually 150.
Yeah.
I took a trip to Pittsburgh not last year, still this year. Sorry. I took a trip to Pittsburgh, which is, 500 miles.
That's like 4 hours. Yeah. 4 hours by car.
It's more like 5, I think. Yeah. But 4 to 5. I think I stopped for gas once on the way. And then once on the way back.
Yep.
Based on what these Teslas' actual mileage would be, I would probably have to stop 3 or 4 times to charge up my vehicle between here and Pittsburgh.
For hours.
Yeah.
For hours.
So a 4 to 5 hour trip now becomes an 8 hour trip because I'm spending 45 minutes every 150 miles to charge up my car. Yeah. All because this jackass lied to me and convinced me to buy a car that he told me I could get to Pittsburgh on one charge.
This is actually not the first time. I don't know if you guys remember during the Obama administration, the United States put sanctions on Ford and I believe Chevy for doing that with gas.
Oh, given like with the trip computers.
Remember we went to remember when we have the empty to full, and then we went to that like range like where it gives you like 300 miles or 400 miles. All the new cars have them now. There was something years and years and years ago about that one wasn't telling you the truth. And they were able to push it off as, well, we don't know like exactly what type of gas you have, and it burns this way, and they were able to get rid of that. But I think each industry's been doing the same thing forever.
All the time.
With a charge, it's far more inconvenient with the charge than it is with gasoline.
Oh, for sure.
Just stop at the gas station, fill up a little bit more. It's going to cost you a little bit more money, but you're at least on your way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not stopping, to your point, Johnny, to piggyback off your point, you're not stopping and charging a car for 4 hours and then having to disconnect and then driving the rest of the way. You know that when you have a gasoline-powered car, you pull in, you gas, you're maybe there for maybe about 10 minutes at max, and then running.
I think the government did a report. I think you're literally at a gas station for 9 to 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Just
makes sense.
in how you do whatever you do. If you're just getting gas, it's an average.
Pull in, you come out, you do the whole thing.
If you go in, you get a Coke or whatever. Like they average it out, so like it's pretty quick.
Yeah,
and you're talking a charge. We were talking. Me and my partner, we were coming back from Houston about a year ago, and there's a Tesla charging station at this Love's that we like to stop at coming back from Houston because it's kind of like. It's quick to get on. It's quick to get off. It's quick to get off, and it's quick to get on. Like you're not really wasting a lot of time. It's where we normally will eat or use the bathroom or grab something to drink. And we wanted to eat that day, so I went in and I got us some food. And my partner was talking to the Tesla person that was charging, and he was very interested in like, what does it take to charge? And the dude literally said, we've been here for an hour and we've got another about 15 to 20 minutes before we get a charge. Ugh. And when we're eating and he told me that, I'm like, who has that kind of time?
Yeah. That
like,
to me
how
is
do you
just
have that kind of time?
Yeah. I don't know how you do. I really don't, especially if you're in a hurry. Like, I mean, that's the one thing that has always bugged me about these cars is the fact that it's not a quick zzz, and you're going to, do your 10 minutes and then you're out the door. If you're in a hurry and the charge is really low, you're spending another hour or more charging that car up. And it's like, I don't see how that's even feasible. I'm sorry. I don't see how it's even feasible to do.
It is feasible in the one world government of 15-minute cities. It's totally feasible.
I suppose so,
because
John,
you're not traveling long distance. But
for the rest of us,
that's not Texas.
You know what I mean?
That's not having to travel to Pittsburgh. That's not driving to Virginia. That's not driving cross country. It doesn't work for as much as they want to talk about the environment. I don't think they know quite what their batteries do to the environment that gasoline doesn't do. But that's another conversation for another time.
That's another conversation. I will say this though, Johnny. Sorry to cut you off. I was just going to say one other thing. Like with these electric vehicles, I've often wondered, would the government, when there's another pandemic, would the government ever shut these things down? Meaning, you have to stay at home to slow the spread. Now, the back of my mind says there's no way they would do it. There's no way. Or maybe the front part of my mind would say there's no way they would still allow you to go and get together, with family. But the back of my mind kind of thinks, you know what I mean? Like
I don't know that the fact that it's an electric vehicle makes that any more likely than a gas vehicle, because it's not the fact that it's electrical that would be the issue. It would be the fact that it's connected.
Yes.
Is more the concern.
And most
you could do the same thing. You have a battery in a gas-powered car now. If your vehicle's connected and they had control of that, they could do the same thing.
OnStar is a thing.
Yeah.
They can unlock your vehicle. We've already had that. So if we get the right politicians in, absolutely they will. They don't give a shit about you seeing your family. They might let you go to the grocery store between 1 and 4 on a Sunday.
Yeah.
What's getting to me, just to get back to the article here, this combined with all the other just basic facts that are getting in the way of electric car usage. The batteries have a problem. They catch fire. They weigh too much. They're going to collapse your parking garage. If you get a fender bender, your car is totaled. The fact that we have a shortage of charging stations, the fact that charging takes too long. You've got myriad issues with electric vehicles already. Now you have, you could go on for days. But now on top of that, you were adding the fact that electric vehicle makers, specifically Elon, are lying to you.
Yeah.
It's going to create distrust. That's not helping the industry.
No, it is not.
Okay? Because now people aren't going to trust what you have to say anymore.
Exactly.
So you're just further impeding. If your goal is to get cars switched over to electric, you're impeding that goal even more by lying like this.
Yeah. Great point.
Is my thing here. The thing about Elon is that you have to have the yeast in the dough before you bake.
Yes, Joe.
It's very important.
Thank you, Joe.
Right. Topic 4. We're going to settle some long-standing debates here. Not really, but I'm going to turn it over to John because he's got the wheel of death. We're going to do a tournament. Yes. We're going to do a tournament of sports video games throughout history. We're going back as far as Pong. I don't even know if we gave that one a system.
No, we didn't.
Now that I think about it. Oh, was it Atari?
Atari, yeah.
Okay.
It's
I did give it Atari, but I didn't know.
All right.
So I just gave it Atari.
Yeah, I'm not sure what system Pong actually first came out on, but technically, I think you could say it's a sport.
Maybe
ColecoVision, and then that was where Pong was. I don't remember.
Might be. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to John. I take it you're going to be bracketing these as we go, so that
I'm going to try my best. I've got my trusty pen and my spinny wheel.
There you go.
We'll figure out how to make this thing work.
All right. Well, without ado, John, take it away.
Thank you. Okay, so we are going to get started in our tournament in the play-in of play-in rounds because there's 9,000 things over here. So Mr. Matt, we're going to go with your first round of however many brackets this thing's
going to be. Here we go.
So let's see what Matt gets here with the spin of the wheel.
I can already see you
closer. That's really cool. NBA Jam.
Oh, man. Oh, jeez.
NBA
I would pick the arcade
Jam.
version for that.
The arcade, because it's the greatest game ever. I said that in pre-production.
Okay. Versus.
That is getting kicked off the list, so we don't have to look at its face anymore.
Okay.
I wish we could do that to our politicians. Spinning for the second one. Oh, I like this.
Boy, here we go.
Oh, Royal Rumble Super NES.
Oh, wow. Boy, already tough one off the start. But I think it's pretty much a no-brainer. NBA Jam, right?
Nice.
Boom shakalaka. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. NBA Jam.
Ugly shot.
Yeah.
Ugly shot.
Ugly shot. Yeah.
It's a shame Royal Rumble got kicked off so early because I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
I
that was a
rented
good game too.
Rented it multiple times from Blockbuster. I used to just put it on the wrestler like face so I could listen to his theme music. That was fun.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
All right, Steve, your play-in game. Let's see what you get.
Oh boy.
Oh, while you're spinning, one more thing about Royal Rumble. So our mutual friend Eddie and I would play it, and what we would do is we'd each stand at one side of the ring for a Royal Rumble, and as somebody would come in, we'd grapple them and throw them across, and the other person would hip toss them out.
Nice.
And we would do that for everyone who came in until it was the last two of us, and we'd always end up fighting each other.
Nice.
Good booking.
So you get Mario Kart 8 the Switch, which you actually
You spelled kart wrong.
Oops.
Yes, I did. It's spelled with a K. Mario Kart is spelled
Mario
wow.
Kart 8.
That's
which
fine.
is a great game, by the way. That's a fantastic game.
On the Switch too, I was corrected by my son. It's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Okay,
Oh.
there you go.
All right.
So that will be
Against?
playing against.
Oh,
Double
FIFA
Switch
19.
games.
Yeah.
Well, with the full disclosure that I've never played FIFA 19 on the Switch, it's got to be Mario Kart because that's a standard.
Yeah.
Now,
I would agree with that.
Okay, moving
and
on.
the one on the Switch is so unbelievably phenomenal. You're playing courses from old systems. You play new courses. It's amazing.
Yeah. Rainbow Road is just absolutely insane. I remember driving that. That's crazy.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Next, what do we got for you? Oh, we talked about this yesterday. Gretzky 3D.
Oh, okay.
On the N64 is going up against.
I loved putting in the codes on that where you could make their heads huge or make their heads tiny. That was funny.
Oh
my God.
against NHL
Oh,
94.
Oh, are you kidding me?
The mecca of hockey games.
This wheel does not know how to keep people in suspense and keep the good stuff in hand. It's eliminating it all good early.
Yeah,
Good
exactly.
God.
NHL 94.
I've already written down NHL 94.
94, yep. Yeah, well, not even close. Yeah. I mean, Gretzky 3D hockey doesn't even come until NHL 94 makes its mark. So yeah.
Great game for the system and the time, but there was already another good hockey game out at that time.
Yeah.
See,
all right.
NHL 94 on Super Nintendo did not have a season option, which pissed me off.
Yeah, that's awful. So Nagano Winter Olympics for the N64.
Right. Get to the start.
It's probably going to go to. Winter Olympics just to more.
Get to the start. Ready?
Oh, there we go.
Go. Oh, ice hockey.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so this was the one. This is the one on Nintendo that had the fat guy and the skinny guy.
Yeah.
The regular guy. So the fat guy couldn't skate. The fat guy couldn't skate very well, but he could hit everybody.
Yeah.
And the skinny guy could skate like super fast, but if you touched him, he was like flying across the room. I'm gonna move the Nagano Winter Olympics though, because
there you go.
I play the ice hockey now on my son's Switch. We have the Nintendo simulator or whatever it's called on there.
Yep.
It gets a little stale.
Yeah.
At least with the Winter Olympics, you can play like 14 different games.
It's hard to score those goals too.
It is.
I find it. Yeah, I find it difficult. Yeah.
And it's controlling the goaltender is extremely difficult.
Oh, very much. Yeah. You almost have to drop everything.
Yeah. You've got Madden 2008 before everything got weird.
Oh boy.
Boom.
And that is going up against.
Oh, make it.
Oh, the game that made me buy a PlayStation.
Oh, wow. Okay, so 2 football games here. NCAA 98.
Yeah,
wow.
This wheel does not care.
Well, I've played Madden more than I've played NCAA.
Yep.
And I played NCAA later in my career, in my video gaming career. I would have to put Madden 08 over. I would just say, but barely. I would say probably 52-48%. So Madden for me on that.
So just for the nostalgia of the NCAA, it was the first time you could use trigger buttons and throw to multiple wide receivers.
Multiple different receivers?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it made people happy, and it's what made me buy a PlayStation.
All right. Here's another one for Steve.
Oh, my favorite game of all time, other than NBA Jam.
Oh,
MLB The Show for PlayStation. What a great game. What a great series.
Yeah.
Of games.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Versus. Who do we got, Johnny?
Against. This wheel is spinning fast. Oh, all right, we're done.
Do I even need to bother?
No, you don't even need to say a fucking word.
All right.
Well, I mean, for our audience, you have to say it. For
if
our
you were born
audience,
at the
you're
same time we
choosing.
were, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so it's going up against Punch Out
Yeah.
from Nintendo, which was that Mike Tyson's at that point, or was it
Yes.
just Punch Out?
Well, it
Alright.
could be prior to. Was it Punch Out before it was Mike Tyson's Punch Out? Either or,
I
both
don't
of them were
recall.
great.
Yeah.
Either of them were
Yeah,
great,
well-
so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Punch Out.
I
Absolutely.
remember playing that in the arcade at Cape May. They had Punch Out and I thought that was like the greatest thing. It was so cool.
That
to be able to
that
play
trainer had the weirdest face.
Yes.
He always looked like he was in such shock. He's like,
that. Exactly. Couldn't believe you did it. All right, Johnny, what do you got?
Moving on.
right? Can't believe you didn't suck in that fight.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
my game. My game.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Winter
on
games for the Commodore.
64.
Oh
Date
my
myself a
gosh.
little
Now
bit.
who's old?
Yeah,
Date
exactly.
myself a
Yeah.
little bit. That was one of the greatest Christmas gifts my parents ever gave us as
Aw.
children. The Commodore 64.
There you go.
And winter games was I hated summer games. It was so hard to play. But winter
Yeah.
games where you could, skeet shooting and the high
The
jump.
bobsled
It was incredible. It was incredible.
Yeah.
What a game.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. And so who
Going
do we
on to the
got
next
going up against that? Oh boy.
Oh, we know who's winning there. Okay. Moving on.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Double Dribble. Yeah. Yeah, that one I would always rent Double Dribble if it was available in this old video store in Orland. Yeah, along with an NES. And if that was the game that was available, bam, getting it. No question about it. Sorry, Johnny, Double Dribble for me on that one. But
What a great game Double Dribble was.
yeah, yeah. Especially the dunks. The dunks were the best part about that.
Many of our younger viewers and listeners may start accusing us of
Yes.
being old timers.
Yes.
Too late.
Yeah.
We're doing over 40
All
segments, so too late.
We have for Steve, we have Tony Hawk on any console. I dare you tell me that it wasn't good on any console. It's one of the best games ever. Oh, against NASCAR 99, which we all played.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
all right. NASCAR 99 is funny as hell, especially if you start driving in the wrong direction
Oh yeah.
and colliding with cars, because the announcers are just like the one dude, he always thinks you're going to cut a tire. And I think maybe some fumes are getting in there. NASCAR 99. It's too good.
Nice.
Plus, you still have Dick Trickle in there with the Circuit City
Yes.
car.
Oh
Yes,
my
and
gosh, yeah.
Who does not like Dick Trickle?
Who does
All right,
not?
back into
Yeah.
another
Madden.
Ooh.
Madden.
This
game.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, this one was the better one of the two, I think,
Oh, yeah.
against 08. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Especially when you go in the opposing team's huddle and start beating people up.
Yeah.
Oh,
passing
see,
windows and
they're
whatnot.
just.
Oh!
They're just
Oh,
causing
wow.
trouble.
Oh man. So these are two of the all-time great games. Tecmo
Mhm.
Super Bowl against Madden 93. Gosh, boy, put me on a spot, Johnny. Good grief.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be in this position.
I have a clear winner on that, but
You have a clear winner.
absolutely.
I'm leaning Tecmo Super Bowl.
You would be correct, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the simplicity.
Yes.
You only
Yeah.
had to run 8 plays.
8 plays. Yep. No, I agree.
But the computer would cheat. If it wanted you to lose, you would lose.
Oh, absolutely.
Exactly.
There was no beating the computer if they did not want you to win. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we got
Oh.
WrestleMania 2000, Steve, and it's
Oh,
going,
yeah.
it's going to be
God.
going up against.
Made famous because we all had characters on there.
That's right.
There we
Oh,
go.
NBA
WrestleMania.
Live. NBA
Oh,
Live
it's
2005.
NBA Live 05. No, it's WrestleMania 2000's got to go on.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's NBA.
That was like the
Live.
first. That was the first kind of 3D wrestling game I can remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I think you had me wrestling in like a dress shirt or something like
No,
that.
hey.
Or did I create that?
You chose your
I
own
created that.
wardrobe, pal.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's right.
That's right.
Matt.
Yeah.
You got the dreaded Pong.
Love it. Okay.
The OG of OGs.
Yeah, right.
Up against your own choice into this TV sports football,
the TurboGrafx
Graphics 16.
Yeah, I would definitely go on TB Sports Football on that one. Sorry, Pong lovers out there, but yeah.
If you're still
Gonna have to
alive.
go with that. Yeah, exactly. I remember playing both, obviously, but yeah, it's like this one was far better.
I don't think I've
down to
ever
the
actually
nitty-gritty.
played Pong.
Really?
I might have when I was younger. All right, Steve.
No.
Wii Sports. This is tennis,
Oh,
golf.
I love Wii Sports.
Oh man.
Bowling.
Bowling.
Next time I'm over, we're gonna have to do that, Steve. We're gonna have to do the Wii Sports thing.
Oh wait, it was tennis, bowling,
archery.
No, baseball, boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many good ones.
And what's the other one? There were 5 sports on there. What was the other one?
Yeah, I forget the 5th.
And it's going up against World Cup USA 94, before it was called FIFA, just for all the listeners.
There you go.
I remember playing World Cup Soccer 94. It was a fun game. We enjoyed. I did rent it a couple times, not on Sega, but on Super Nintendo. It was a fun game, but Wii Sports really kind of changed everything.
It changed the game.
It changed the game because you actually were like actually physically doing stuff.
Yeah,
yes.
It changed. My parents would get involved when we were all hanging out. My mom and dad being in their 60s and 70s with the little kids when we were all over.
Yep.
You would get like a grandpa versus, young kid. You would get a grandma versus, Aunt Chris. Like in a Wii bowling or a Wii tennis or whatever it would be. It was fun.
Yeah.
Wii was awesome.
It was a staple of retirement homes.
Yeah, no doubt.
They actually had it in retirement
homes. And it
homes.
should have been because it was
Absolutely.
It was so fun. So many family memories from Wii Sports. I totally understand why it's on the list.
Some of the greats. Yeah, all-time great. Yeah. Okay, Johnny, what's next? What do you got for me?
Blades of Steel.
Oh, look at that. Oh.
And who is that
Love it.
going up against? I can't wait till we spin the wheel when there's only one left.
If it's Blades of Steel gets bases loaded, I'm going to scream.
NBA 2K12, I can see that.
Okay.
Being there.
Blades of Steel. Hard. Blades of Steel. No question. Yeah. Blades of Steel.
All right. Let's go, Steve. We got
Blades of Steel.
Oh. I was telling you guys about this one.
Uh-oh. John's game here.
It's 2008. Okay.
Versus
TV sports.
Can I defer this one to someone else because I've not played either game?
You absolutely. I will take the deferment. I did play both of those games. Not my favorite hockey game. If it was TV sports football, if it was TV sports football versus Tiger Woods, I would take that. But TV sports hockey, not very likable to me. I will pick the Tiger Woods over.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, Matt, we got 4 left.
All right.
Let's see what we got here.
Look at that right there. Look at that right there. Base is loaded. Oh my gosh.
I love the little fat dudes who would come up to bat. Like,
yeah.
Like paunchy stance.
My favorite was when they would swing and the big barrel of the bat would get on the ball and the ball would rocket out of the ballpark. It was great.
Yeah.
The original Mario Kart?
My gosh.
Whew.
Yeah. I will say this, the original Mario Kart is a classic. Difficult though, and a classic. Bases Loaded though was one you could just play for days upon days upon days. And I would say the replay value bases loaded and gives it a little bit over the edge. So I would vote bases loaded instead of Mario Kart, the original. Mm-hmm.
Right. Last and
Gee, I
final
wonder
one.
what's left.
I mean, I'm going to spin it for you, Steve, but you can think about it while it's spinning.
I don't need to think about it.
Well, hold on. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Hold on. Wait just a second.
I'll wait.
It's
California
slow.
games from Atari.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
slowly getting into. Okay. Hold on. Wait a minute. We got to spin to find out.
I wonder what it's going to be.
Oh, my God.
SmackDown versus Raw 06 PlayStation. California Games was one of the games that we constantly played on my Atari.
Yeah. Same.
And I loved the bike race.
Yeah.
Where I don't even know what you're doing, but you'd pull down on the joystick and the bike would go.
Uh-huh.
And I no idea what that trick is, but that would be that's going on. California Games.
No
Hacky
doubt.
sack, skateboard, half pipe,
Exactly.
Yeah.
surfing.
Remember the
I never
surfing?
figured out the surfing. Was the one I could never figure out.
Yeah, that one
I
you had
was
to
pretty
like
good- I was
ride it
pretty
and
good
then
at
go
the
up over the top and you do
Yeah.
like a couple of things and come down. Yeah.
I was pretty good at the surfing because it was like you had it's the same thing as Winter Games with that like singular joystick with the one button. Like, you get good at it when you're playing it every day. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, my favorite was the bike one though, because we would enjoy crashing into the trees.
Nice.
All right, so
All right,
now
John.
that we are seated, let's now go from the top of the bracket all the way down.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we will start with Matt, and we're going NBA Jam versus Mario Kart 8.
Oh God!
Hey,
NBA Jam
the wheel.
or Mario
the wheel,
Kart 8.
the wheel sealed the deal here. So
Ugh.
Controversial pick. But I'm going NBA Jam on this one.
okay, NBA
I mean,
I-
Mario Kart 8 is a terrific game. NBA Jam, though, for me, has the nostalgic feel. Everybody loved NBA Jam back in the day and still do to this day.
Dun,
Um,
dun, 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 dun.
All right,
Love it.
we got Nagano Winter Olympics 98
Okay.
versus NHL 94.
Oh, come on.
Let me
It's
think about this
NHL
one.
94.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah. Love
Okay.
it.
Come on, it was the classic move. You go behind the net, cut
Yep.
straight across, you score every time.
Every time.
Or the one-timer. Either one of
Or the
two.
one timer, yeah. One of the two.
All right, Matt, we've got Madden 2008 versus either Mike Tyson's Punch Out or Punch Out, whatever year you were
Ooh.
born. It's the same game to me.
Yeah, Punch Out. I just think it's a lot more fun, to be perfectly honest, especially since
Punch Out was
08.
one
I mean,
of-
08 was good, but yeah, I would Punch Out for me. I'd move that on.
Yeah, if it were me, if it was Madden 93, I think it'd be a closer call. But Madden
It would be a closer
08.
call.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Madden 93 was
To me, after like, I don't know, I don't remember exactly what year it was, but at a certain point, it got too complicated.
That was like right
there-
after 08 because like Madden 05 to Madden 08
Mhm.
was like the prime years of being able to use the multi buttons and doing all kinds of cool stuff. You know, just
No doubt.
with a very nice hit stick, and you could throw screen passes, and then it just got complicated where you had to be like a user, and it was like, oh, user hit interception, run, like it got way beyond us after
Yeah.
08.
And now it's a buggy mess. Now it's an absolute buggy mess. It's
I
just
heard
terrible.
people saying it's literally the worst football game they've ever played.
Yeah.
Well, and they have the exclusive rights with the NFL, which is
Yeah.
part of the reason you won't see Tecmo Super Bowl
Yeah.
No.
renewed because
That
they
would
can't
be
get the rights to it.
If they could
Oh.
come up with, we're old, so if they could come up with like an old person console, just like OD 85,
They're
we'll
out
call
there.
it, and you just just put the old
They're
games
out
on,
there.
but license it. As
Yeah,
the NFL
but
would
license
like,
it.
the NHL would like. That
They're
would be
out
cool
there.
for us.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
no doubt.
That's
No
the
doubt about
problem. That's the problem with Tecmo is you can't get the
Yeah.
license because of the stupid EA exclusive
Yeah.
deal. Get on that, Congress.
Luckily, though, I think it's one final year left. 25
good.
is the last year
Good.
that EA will have the exclusive rights, and the NFL then has the option to go in and say, you know what, okay, we're done. We're going to give it away, or you're not with it anymore in that regard. So yeah. So there is good news on the horizon. Just hopefully they don't re-sign with EA.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
course they
exactly. Yeah.
So
They
Sorry,
could
John.
make more money if they didn't, though. That's
yeah, that's
exactly.
it. They could sell it across the board and make far more.
Yeah.
absolutely.
So we got Double Dribble versus NASCAR 99.
Oh. See, I'm going old school again. I think I have to go Double Dribble. Sorry, Steve.
Hey, it's
I know
to
you-
me.
It's
It's to me,
Steve.
isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
my
Steve.
turn. Yeah, you bastard. You're not taking my pick away from me.
There you go.
And because of that, we're going NASCAR 99.
There
just to
you
screw
go.
him over.
Nice.
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 NASCAR
You're
99.
wrong, but you're not. That's nice.
Come on, I could drive the Skittles car.
There you
Your
go.
gas is low. Your
Yeah.
gas is low. Pull over.
No, I didn't have to even go into the pit. You'd pop a tire and you'd be going for a little bit, and then it would magically reinflate itself, and you'd be driving
I
fine
played
again.
a semi. It might have been 98, but I remember I used to, because I had the driving wheel. I would play it on the computer, and it would be the driving wheel, and I had the headset, and I couldn't play that game for more than a couple minutes because just they're in the ear. Oh, well, watch your right, watch your left, watch your right. It's like, dude, is these? I remember saying to a buddy of mine, like, is this what NASCAR people have to deal with? I don't never want to be a NASCAR. Just bitching in my ear the whole time. I'm trying to drive
Yeah.
the car. I'm
For
14.
200 miles?
I don't know how to drive. Like, I'm 14.
Crazy. Crazy.
NASCAR 99.
Some of those
was,
tracks too are so short.
Oh,
Yes.
they are.
Yeah.
You're like done a lap in like 20 seconds, and you're like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
and Dover
yeah.
Downs. Like, tiny little drum.
I think that was
Yeah.
one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. All right,
All
John.
right, so-
what else you got?
So, Matt, we got Tecmo Bowl Super Bowl taking on WrestleMania 2000.
Oh, Tecmo Bowl. Come on. Tecmo Bowl. WrestleMania 2000 does have a soft spot in our hearts for all three of us, obviously.
Absolutely.
But Tecmo. I mean,
No,
come on.
you're right,
Tecmo's like the
absolutely.
easiest. You just pick it up and play, and off you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Steve Young to John Taylor every time.
Yeah. Yeah. What about Jerry? You gotta put Jerry in there.
No, Jerry was at the bottom. John Taylor was at the top of the screen, and he would run straight out. And I would drop all the way back to the goal line, throw it
We all,
80 yards in the
remember,
he'd
we
be
all
like,
remember watching Steve play.
All
you
right,
know?
well. Yeah. Exactly.
All right. So, Steve, you got TV, sports, football. I'm not even going to. So, the Wii moves on.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Wii Sports. Yeah.
Wii
Yeah.
Sports.
Do we really need to have that conversation?
No. No.
I bowled a 300 twice on that
There
game.
you
Look
go.
at you.
There you go.
Look at you.
And as you get to the last roll, you're like, okay, I got to make sure I hit the control just
Just
right.
right.
Even though your wrist hurts by that point.
Oh, that's funny. All right, John.
All right.
Now what?
Matt, we got Blades of Steel
Okay.
taking on Tiger Woods.
Oh. Blades.
I'm getting totally.
I'm going Blaze of Steel.
short-handed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, another classic pick up and play, and
Oh,
off you
of
go. And
Yeah.
I never played the Tiger Woods, but I'm sure since it's EA Sports, it was probably overly complicated.
So good. It's so
somewhat.
good. So good.
Yeah. Once you got the hang of it, it was like very easy to play.
On
But
the
Blades
Wii-
is like,
If you got it on the
Oh.
Wii, it was even more fun to play because you had to have
Yes.
four.
Oh, whoa. Yeah.
with emotion. And, yeah. You know.
All right.
All
Last
right.
one. We've got Bases Loaded versus California Games.
There is one right answer, but we don't know what the answer is out there.
It sounds to me like Matt wants me to pick bases loaded.
Both are terrific games, though. Both.
They are. I'll go bases loaded.
There you go.
That was a fun game.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's gonna be a match.
Even though everybody's name was just 4 letters,
Yes.
so it made things a little weird, but that's fine.
Boo.
Oh,
Thayer.
right.
I remember Thayer. Ther was
Yeah.
one of the relief pitchers.
Yeah.
I don't know why that one sticks out of my head so much. But
It's so
Thayer.
funny. There.
He was a lefty, and I think he could throw like 98.
98. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
something like that.
All right. So we have our. What is this? The semifinals? No, it's the quarterfinals.
Quarters.
Quarterfinals? Yeah.
Because the semis will be next. So Matt, we have NBA Jam versus NHL '94.
Oh, I would not want to be in your shoes right now.
Murder's Row. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to just, again, both great games. You know what though? I would say NHL '94 because NBA Jam was always in the arcade, and I would
What do
play.
you mean it was
more-
always in the arcade?
No, it came
I
out.
always thought
It
it
came
was.
out on. Yeah, it came out on.
No,
It did
was
come out
on-
in the cartridge. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Then but I remember playing NHL '94 more often than not. So I think it was
Probably everybody's house. You probably played it at my house. We probably played it in Steve's house. We probably played
played with a good buddy of mine, Jim, from high school. He and I played it like religiously. We would sit there and just play it.
It was the game to play.
It was great
Back in the day.
Yeah.
But the only thing with NHL '94 was you couldn't put in the cheat code to get Bill Clinton or George Clinton as playable characters. I'm just
That's
saying.
true. Jeffrey Epstein in there? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Shot
Whoa!
fired.
What are you accusing George Clinton of P-Funk
Pew,
for?
pew, pew, pew.
yikes! That had
Shots
sauce on it.
fired.
Oh, right.
Sorry.
No problem. No problem at all. Speaking of boxing promoters, Punch Out. And
Versus?
speaking of rednecks, NASCAR '99.
Love it.
Punch Out will advance.
That was the best segue I could give you
Wow.
people after the Jeffrey Epstein comment. Yeah.
Oh man.
You're all there, you know it. Shut up. Moving on to Tecmo Bowl, Matt versus Wii Sports.
Ooh.
Tecmo Super Bowl.
Tecmo.
versus
Tecmo
Wii Sports.
versus Wii Sports. I'm going Tecmo. Partly because I have not rolled a 300 game in Wii
There you
Sports.
go. And you're mad at,
For that reason.
And you're mad about things. I think this is where.
And
In
I'm
all
mad-
fairness,
And I'm mad at myself for not throwing a 300 game in that game. So
all fairness, I agree with Matt's pick. By the way, so
Yeah,
I would have
thank
picked Tecmo Super Bowl as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Me too. Even though Wii was revolutionary, but this means that
Oh, no
Blades
doubt.
of Steel's going to send bases loaded home, right? Because
Oh man.
Matt sent your Wii home. Aren't you going to send bases loaded home?
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah, well, is that so? It's Blades of Steel
Blades of
versus
Steel
Bases
versus Bases
Loaded.
Loaded.
Blades of Steel.
Blades
Blades
of
of Steel.
Yeah.
Just, hockey guys.
All
Yeah,
right.
wow.
Oh,
Final four.
I guess Final Four.
Ooh. What do you got, Johnny?
NHL '94 versus Punch Out.
Ooh. NHL '94.
Moving on.
Thought about it for a minute for Punch Out, and then I thought, no. NHL '94.
You're getting eaten
Right?
by Mike Tyson's Tiger.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
All right, Steve. Tecmo Bowl, Super Bowl
Yes.
versus
Yes.
Blades of Steel.
Tecmo Super Bowl.
Oh, wow.
Tecmo Super Bowl, obviously.
Wow.
All right,
Obviously.
Obviously.
How do you want to do this final?
So
We
it's
have
NHL '94.
Tecmo Super
Okay.
Bowl.
Wow. Well, first of all, we ought to let our viewers decide. Comment below what you think.
You know what I think we should do? I think we should leave it to next week.
John wants a cliffhanger. Look at that.
Oh.
If anybody wants to vote that is listening, we will tabulate the
Tecmo?
votes. We will also put it
or
on,
NHL '94.
we will
Yeah.
put it out on
Go ahead,
all
John.
social media to see if if
I like
we
it.
could come to a consensus.
Yeah, to a consensus champion. I love
Yes.
it. I love it.
Interesting. I like it. All right, so we conclude this. We don't conclude the tournament,
No,
actually.
we do not.
So comment below or vote on your social
Socials.
media of choice.
There you go.
Facebook, X. I'm not going to call it X. Twitter.
Yeah.
What else can we vote on?
We'll put it on.
John?
We'll put it on
Instagram.
Put
Okay,
a
we'll do
YouTube poll
Instagram.
out there too.
YouTube
yeah.
poll?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll do a YouTube poll.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we're putting the polls out. So your choices for best sports video game of all time are Tecmo Super Bowl versus NHL 94.
Wow.
Yes. For what is it? Tecmo was the
Wow.
Super NES, and 94 was the Sega Genesis, right?
Wow. Yes.
Those were the
Yes.
consoles.
Those
But
were
if
the
you've
consoles.
played it on any other
Mm-hmm.
You can
system,
vote. You get vote.
you could vote. You could vote. Yeah. So all right. So we'll have that result next week in episode 157.
Wow.
So that John surprisingly wraps us up on 156 on a cliffhanger. Wow, that's a first for this program.
I love it.
So do you guys have anything to say to leave our viewers in further suspense before we check on out?
I got nothing on my side. I can't wait till next week. This will be fun.
Big shout out to Rand Paul for wearing a proper clothing to the Senate after they changed the dress code. Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
there you go. Love it. Love it.
Well, with that, I say, there was, it's not controversial. I'm a wizard, mind you.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening to us here at Two Noobs Talking. If you want more of Two Noobs on social media, we're here for you. You can find us by searching Two Noobs Talking on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Clapper. Have a great week, and we look forward to delivering another great episode to you next week. Take care.